So the NBA as a league is going through major shifts. Business is booming, and as the money continues to flow in, it is going to suffer from what I like to call the rich man's disease. And it's happening on multiple fronts. For the first time ever, we're seeing brand new draftees come into the league, already cashing in multi-million-dollar checks from the amateur circuit. And second of all, the players who are already in the league are getting multi-million-dollar deals. We're talking about bench players or just role players making $35 million plus. The B-level stars are making anywhere from 50 to 60 million. And the creme de la creme, guys like LeBron James, Luka, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, the top end of the star spectrum, these guys are set to make anywhere from 80 to $100 million by the time we're midway through this new CBA. Not only from the player side, things are looking good, but as well as the owners who are seeing team evaluations go up by the billions. At some point with all this wealth, we're going to have to wonder, where does the hunger come from? And I'm not just talking about players on the court. This season, we're seeing a number of teams making trades and having better additions to their current teams, but yet they're still tanking. And a lot of this is starting to spill over into the media as it's becoming very apparent to the fan bases. Oh yeah, we're going to get into this. This is multi-layered. First, check out what Bam Adebayo had to say as the Miami Heat lost to the Utah Jazz, who are obviously tanking after making a trade to improve their team.
We got to find a way to win even against teams that are, I guess you can say trying to lose.
Again, we're going to attack this on multiple fronts because Bam right here is acknowledging that the players are having consistency issues with the effort on the court. This is mainly happening with the better teams throughout the league, from the middle of the pack all the way to the very top. Longtime NBA analyst Tim Legler had even called it out. That rich man's disease, it's going to be real, and it's something that Adam Silver is going to have to deal with.
I've also seen a tremendous fluctuation. The number of nights that I've seen teams, either in person when I've sat courtside calling a game, sitting at home on League Pass watching the game, the fluctuation in effort. There are nights when you watch teams and you can't believe how flat they are. And I've seen more of that this year than any other time, which means on any given night, anybody is capable of beating anybody. It may sound like you think that's a cliche because it's the NBA, but normally that's not the case. If you have teams that are contenders, that are teams that are really playing for something later in the year, we all know that, and you get a team that is not, or a team that's got a bunch of young dudes, or a team that's clearly not really that concerned about winning games because they're trying to think about the future. And you get that team on your home floor mid-season in the dog days, you're supposed to beat that team down. And I've seen more nights now where those teams have been flat, or one team even in a matchup where two really good teams are about to play and you're super excited about the game. And for whatever reason, one of them just comes out and they're so flat, it's almost borderline disinterested. And it leads to these crazy scores, these really weird results. Some of the blowouts we've seen from bad teams beating down good teams, not just winning like buzzer beaters, like, oh, wow, they played hard, they thought they were in the game, and they eventually won it. No, they beaten teams by 25 and 30 points on their home floor.
Again, these are brand new problems the league is going to have, and we're only in the beginning of this new CBA that's set up to have certain stars making over $100 million a year. Every single season starting at this point, the salary cap for each team is going to bump up by 10%. And some players are going to be eligible for 35% of that total cap. Stars like Luka Doncic, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, even De'Aaron Fox, the guys who were drafted anywhere from 2017, 2018 and beyond, they're going to be eligible at some point to make well over 80, 90, or even $100 million a year. This is why every single season we hear about the competition level during the All-Star game, because there is a trickle-down effect that you can see hitting the rest of the NBA product. Fans see it, coaches see it, the league sees it, and most importantly, them streaming services see it, which the NBA does have to perform in order to keep cashing in those larger and larger checks. The money is not guaranteed for these leagues, even though these tech companies do have the cash, but they're not interested in sports the same way the broadcast networks used to be. Again, this is definitely multi-layered, and it gets brought up every single All-Star game. As right here, Kevin Durant gets asked about the all-star effort, and he flips the question on the media and puts them in a position where it's obvious that they do not have the same expectations for the international stars as the American stars. Again, this shit is multi-layered because a lot of the mainstream media members that cover the league, they tend to be on the older side. And in their generation, they came up in a time where the whole NBA ecosystem kind of looked down on the international stars, and subconsciously, they do express it from time to time, not directly, but it's always in the back of their minds. I've covered this in a few of my segments. I'll link in the description below. We've seen Tracy McGrady downplay SGA's come up, and that he puts Ant-Man on the same level. Draymond Green and Gilbert Arenas also spoke about the international stars not necessarily having the expectations to win championships on the same level as the American stars, aka Luka Doncic versus Jason Tatum. Even though they're in the same generation, there was an expectation level placed on Jason Tatum before he won that ring that Luka has not yet seen, even though today he's in LA during his prime years. But again, we're going to take a listen to KD as he puts the media in a position where they don't want to admit this, but subconsciously, a lot of them, they do not have the same expectations for the international guys as the American players, especially for the black players.
You should ask the Europeans if the world team if they're going to compete. I mean, because we look at Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic now. Let's go back and look at what they do in the All-Star game.
Hey, he's spitting facts. In case you didn't hear it, there was a media member in the background laughing out loud, a very exaggerated laugh, because KD right here, he flips the question and he puts the spotlight on the NBA media of why are there not any expectations of guys like Luka Doncic in LA with LeBron James in his prime, or even Jokic trying to get back to the NBA Finals. Let's just say hypothetically, if KD was in the same exact position as Jokic, same age, same MVP accolades, and just one championship, they would be on his neck for him to go out there and grab a second one.
If they're going to compete. I mean, because we look at Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic now. Let's go back and look at what they do in the All-Star game. Is that competition? So we haven't questioned what they've been doing, but we're going to question the old heads and the Americans.
KD, just say what you mean. Don't say old heads. They're questioning the American players, specifically the black players. Let's keep it a buck. Subconsciously, they have more expectations of you guys versus any other players. I would say just because of the marketing of the NBA in the last, I would say 40, 50 years, ever since Magic and Bird, the American player, regardless of race, is really the number one options subconsciously in the media's mind. Just be on the lookout for when Cooper Flag comes up. They're going to have 10 times more expectations for him versus Luka Doncic. Once again, the American star is what the NBA has made its bread and butter when it comes to marketing its overall league, I would say in the past 40 years. Adam Silver and David Stern throughout the years making this league the global monster that it is today. It's good for business purposes, especially for streaming. But their bread and butter, once again, is marketing the league around the American star, specifically the black American star. Let's keep it a buck.
But these two dudes out there, Luka and Jokic, they don't care about the game at all. These dudes be laying on the floor, they shoot from half court, but you got to worry about the old heads playing hard.
Come on, KD. We all know what you mean by old heads. He's trying to mask it, but he really means the American players and sometimes specifically the black players. The NBA has been America's game. The dream team from back in the day when Jordan was there, Magic Johnson, it signified America's excellence, America's dominance. That's why Adam Silver in this year's All-Star game is playing into it in order to keep guys on their toes and put out their best effort. But right here, Rob Parker expresses the real sentiment that most media members have. Some of them just don't have the balls to say it. But the NBA is somewhat our game. It's an American game. And for the most part, there's a higher burden on the American players versus some of the international guys. You could say it's manifest destiny or whatever. But at the end of the day, when you look at these Olympic Games, especially for the last one that just passed by in Paris, American exceptionalism was at full display when it comes to Team USA basketball. Make no mistake about it.
They're a big part of the league. I get what Kevin Durant's saying. They don't set the tone. The American players set the tone in the NBA. KD, what are you talking about? Can you replay any interviews from Luka Doncic or from the Joker? They're not saying anything about the NBA. Nobody goes and asks them why. It's about the American players. You set the standard. This is an American league. If you were playing in Europe, they wouldn't go to you, KD, and ask you. This is about America. And this is why you get the smoke. This is your league. This is our league in the United States.
Hey, this sentiment right here is what a lot of media members are not going to express. And even in the Michael Jordan Last Dance documentary, the chapter about Tony Kukoc joining the team and some of the sentiments the players had in regards to the international stars, they viewed them as soft off rip and they did not respect them at all. So once again, I'll link a few of the videos I've done below in the description where you can see Sabonis' father, the current day power forward for the Sacramento Kings. You can see his father get drafted and a lot of the disgust of the Portland Trailblazers fan base, because at the end of the day, the international stars were not respected. And it was like that for a long time in NBA. And that is the era most of these media members today covering the league have grown up in. That's why they do not have any expectations or just hold up to any esteem the accomplishments of Jokic, SGA, etc. Rob Parker right here grew up in that same era. The international stars were not respected at all when it came to basketball. That American exceptionalism is real.
Even in the baseball, nobody's going to Ohtani to ask him what's wrong with Major League Baseball. Are you kidding? Hey, Ohtani, why aren't there black fans in the stands?
Oh, he definitely going to get an interpreter for that.
You know what I'm saying? That's not how it works. Come on, man. Don't pass the buck. Answer the damn question, KD. Stop passing the buck to guys who came over to this country just to play basketball. They didn't invent the league. You guys gave up the league. You stopped having passion. You stopped playing hard.
Hey, once again, this might be a money issue also. This is the very first time we've seen players come into the league, get drafted, and the first check they get is not their first multi-million-dollar check or just, them signing a multi-million-dollar deal. They've already been doing this since they were 16, 15 years old. That NIL presents brand new dynamics, and Adam Silver is going to have to address it at some point. The hunger is not going to be the same going from night to night.
You gave up the MVP. We haven't had an MVP, an American MVP, since the Louisiana Purchase.
Yeah, Rob Parker's being stupid right here, but the last American MVP is James Harden in 2018. So 8 years without an American-born MVP. That shit is unheard of in the league's history. If you can go back in time to Michael Jordan's era from all the way to Magic Johnson and tell them that the league at some point wouldn't have an American MVP in 8 seasons, not only no one would believe you, they would be in full disgust at the idea of it.
You got the nerve to want to pass the buck. Own it if you want to do it. Tell the fans, blank you, we don't care about you. Because that's the message that the fans got. They're not running to Luka or going to run to the Joker and say, what about you guys from Europe? How come you're not playing hard? Because when you checked out KD and all of your contemporaries, that's when the rest of the league checked out. If you took the game seriously, you think the Joker and Luka would get out on the court and not play?
That is fact. Someone's going to have to set the tone. And for LeBron James, this is where I'm going to take a knock on him, because even Kobe Bryant in that All-Star game in Houston tried to defend LeBron one-on-one during a clutch situation 2 times, and LeBron passed up the ball. Just King James not participating in the dunk contest, just overall not giving the fans what they want, just those moments. It has hurt the product over time. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, a lot of the media members subconsciously, they do hold the American players to a higher esteem than some of the international guys, no matter what their achievements are. SGA has the complete package, the style, the charisma, the aura, the winning, getting the NBA Finals MVP, winning all those games in one season and averaging 30 points per game. Only Michael Jordan, Kareem, and Brent Barry have done these things. But yet, it's crickets. The media just kind of overlooks them because culturally, there's not a connection. And subconsciously, they still do remember a lot of the disrespect and the sentiments, the branding of some of these international stars when the NBA was kind of going through its current day modern era. The Magic Johnson 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. The international stars were still not perceived in a good light. And it was even brought into full perspective in Michael Jordan's Last Dance documentary.